computer. Well, hello everyone, especially Luc over here, Luc Bonnin, who is visiting us from France. And we've got a super special guest right now, super eclectic with a very diverse career. Luc started out, he's got his master's in mathematics and computer science. He's got experience in multiple tech companies or having tech related jobs. But I think what's most worth mentioning and what brought us here are the multiple projects he started, like Perphony, but most recently Haalia, which we will be talking about. And we can even mention some of the awards he's won in terms of innovation and even participating in CrossFit championships. How are you, Luc? It's great to have you
Fine,
here.
fine. Hi, everybody. I can see that you visit my LinkedIn profile and
Yeah.
you make a kind of great sum up. Thank you for that.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting that a lot of our guests have these super diverse careers. And well, that's what, before going into AI, I would like to talk about what got you all along this way, going from computer science and then neuroscience and then AI.
Yeah. Oh, it's not a long story, but I mean, like 15 years of experience. I drive my way through different career and jobs. And yeah, I started as a developer, so kind of a techie nerd person,
Uh,
and creating website and some kind of stuff. And then I, I get up on the standard scale, of job managing people and creating my various companies, etc. But for me, the common point of all my experience, including in my studies when I was in school, it was, I remember having some bad feedback from teachers at school because I was like 10 or 12 years old and asking, Mister, why we are learning this stuff?
mhm.
How we will use that? For example, I don't know, some complicated calculus or some date in history. Why we need to learn that? And teacher that never answer this kind of stuff. And then so yeah, it was, and like 10 or 15 years later, I discovered that it was the main pitch of someone which is called Simon Sinek. uh,
Yeah.
and for the one of you that don't know this guy, I really encourage you to look at his TED talk, which is like 20 minutes long, and you could have the subtitle if you don't speak English. And in 20 minutes he explain you his golden cycle stuff, and for me it's like my Bible, sports and the golden cycles, my Bible. So so yeah, starting with why, which is very important for me. And to answer your question, I drive my career through these eyes, this lens,
Mhm.
and I always wanted to do something that it will be useful for people. So developing, then a bit of big data when it was the thing, like
Yeah.
in 2015, something like that. Even if big data exists from like the 50s, it was called mainframe at this stage, and it was revamped as big data or cloud or this kind of stuff. And yeah, driving from big data to the data to neuroscience, because I wanted to know all the cognitive bias. For
Mhm.
example, when you have like the classic satisfaction survey. If I ask you, do you like Coca-Cola Zero without sugar? I introduce you in a kind of bias where you are more willing to say yes than willing to say no. If I say, among all the soda stuff with a lot of sugar, do you prefer Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Fanta, whatever? And even or water or oranges. Even there, I introduced my question with, among the sugar soda industry, which is a negative topic, so the typical cognitive bias. And so yeah, it led me to some kind of AP psychology study on how brain works, and like the Pavlov conditioning stuff. Really useful for if you have children. I use that on my own children, and it works. And and yeah, then neuroscience, and then for sure AI, because for me it's like, I mean, people people didn't realize how strong this tech is. It's not just a fancy word like the new big data stuff in the Gartner hype cycle. It for me, it's
Mhm.
like electricity. You know, when back in the time we didn't have electricity at all,
Mhm.
and from in a 10 years time frame, we passed from no electricity to an electricity world. And
Uh,
I think we are in this 10-15 years time frame of without AI and with AI. So yeah, I think we are living in a world when in 50 years, when we will be all of us will be really old,
mhm.
and in else I hope we will be able to teach that to our grandchildren.
Hopefully, I mean, super interesting. So basically, what I hear is that you started out basically questioning everything. You started out questioning your teachers, then you started questioning why this cognitive bias happened, and this led you to what you think is the new electricity, AI. And that's super interesting. That was something we were talking about previously. And for those of us who aren't too familiar, and over here, at least in Latin America, AI is just starting, and all over the world. It's, as you said, 10, 15 years. But could you talk a little bit about, and here, I know you've got a recent interview where you talked about AI, but for those who don't know AI and who haven't watched this interview, read this interview, what is AI and what's your thoughts on it? Is it going to manipulate us and dominate humanity or not?
Yeah. Is it that does the Terminator will come or not? Yeah, soon. Yeah, yeah, it's called singularity, by the way, this stage, but I think it's out of the scope for this
Yeah.
interview. But we can talk about it if you want in another one. But yeah, what is AI? AI is it's quite difficult to define, but I mean, for me, AI is a variety of techniques and algorithms built by human to try to mimic the human brain,
Mm,
even without being too technical. Most of us has already heard about neural network. You know, in our brain we have a lot of neuron, and they are joined together, and it create like a neuron, a network, like a map. You know, and and for me it's like trying to mimic the way we think and we experience the world as a human being, but creating a kind of digital brain, even if purely technically speaking is really not that. I mean, it's like more it's more using a lot of math and statistics and complex algorithms and calculus, but there is a big part of that which is the neural network and deep learning, the way a machine can learn from something we give her, and the way she can interact with something she never heard about before.
mm,
So that's how I define AI without being too technical. But after that, I will be able to show you how uh, Haalia, for example, AI is working in a not too technical way.
yeah.
I think it would be interesting. I have a couple of slides of that about that, and I often use that to explain to clients how the magic happens. You know, but yeah, regarding AI, for me, it's I mean, to compare AI and other kind of algorithms,
Mhm.
like if you use your Excel spreadsheet and make if this number is greater than zero, is less than zero, put it in red, for example. This is an algorithm. This is not AI. Even if a lot of marketing company or company pretend to be AI friendly or AI company, where there is only this typical if else then stuff, you know. But yeah, the way a developer work from the last 50 years was coding and explaining to the computer how it should do something. If you have this situation, then do that. Or if you have this bucket of data, you need to loop on that. And if on the first row you need to do that, and if it's not that, you need to do another thing, etc. This is programming. And
Basically.
now with AI, you are preparing data, labeling the data, and giving that to a neural network, something with complicated calculus, and then the machine is doing the rest. It's doing weighting the data and all the line between each neuron, and everything is done automatically. I mean, you give the data, you show the data to the machine, and then the machine reacts, which is
Yeah.
completely something really really different. So, and I don't know if it's answering your question.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's great because as I've said, over here it's a pretty new area and it's not really talked about. And even in universities, it is just
yeah,
being talked about. The programs are just including it. So basically, it's the integration of both worlds of the neural part of emulating and simulating the human brain and the coding part. But it's not Excel, as you said. It's not putting the if, else, and not. No, it's more complex than that, which is great that you clarify it.
yeah, of course. And yeah, regarding the Terminator fear that some normal people could think like, okay, if a machine can interpret, make themselves autonomous in learning stuff, they could like in Terminator or in Matrix think that humanity is a virus and they will kill us, etc. Should we kill all the AI experts? Absolutely not, because an AI is always working. An AI model is always working in a specific context.
Hmm.
If they need some input data, like label data, a human or group of human is
Hmm.
defining and labeling, and then building some complex generic stuff
Hmm.
regarding AI, and then the machine could play on that topic. If you use the same model with another kind of data, I don't know, you build a model on the Tesla, for example, autonomous car,
Hmm.
which is using a lot of computer vision AI model to help driving and knowing when there's danger, etc. If you use this model in finance stuff, for example, it doesn't work because it doesn't have something to see cars, speed, etc. Or if in the reverse way, if you use some Facebook AI algorithms that try to analyze you and profile your own you as a user to give you the more impactful ads that will be able to click on. Uh, it's analyzing text and some stuff, but not regarding computer vision stuff. So we are really really far from building a Terminator able to think by himself. So no worries about that.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the things when one researches on internet. There's a lot of articles, research articles from 2017 and to even this year that say, yeah, AI isn't still solved, and humans still have to we still have to have our part and put data into context. You can't take anything out of context, and that's one of the most important things that people kind of overlook, and that's why there's a lot of debate. And that this is great because you've talked about basically the philosophy, I believe, over that oversees Alia, right? This is like the general point of view from Alia.
uh, if we zoom in a bit on the AI part of ALIA, is related to computer vision. So basically, computer vision is an area of AI where we deal with images or with video streams, like video like this Zoom call, for example. But video is nothing more than an array of images, like 25 arrays per second, and X seconds during the call. So the machine is not analyzing a video, but a bunch of images.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it's dealing with images, and AI is not analyzing the images as we saw it as a human.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, probably all images are split in three basic colors, and all the painters, which are not necessarily nerd, know that you can build any colors on the planet with blue, red RGBs, or red, green, and blue. You make them and you build yellow and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the same for the pixels you have on your screen, or your TV, on your smartphone, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so the AI, the machine, is converting every image in three, like, Excel spreadsheet of numbers. Like, for these pixels on the top left, there is this amount of red, this amount of green, this amount of blue. The amount is a number between 0 and 250, so 255. And it allows the machine to mix that really abstract stuff for us as a human, and build some strategy, like for Tesla to drive a car alone, or for us as in Haalia to decode human emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So we are able to decode, based on images and videos, emotions felt by a single human or a group of humans in a room, in a school room, for example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is pretty great because for those of who you don't know, this is pretty recent. Even an article of on 2020 by this magazine Nature, which is pretty big, just
Yeah.
in this year said, "Hey, we're just decoding emotions for rats." So this is pretty top notch. Like it's pretty advanced. And I would like to ask, how does it look for clients? How do you work on the day to day, and what do you offer them? And how do you do this facial, well, emotion decoding?
Yeah. Maybe you want me to start by sharing this how it works stuff. Like,
Yeah,
we can dig into that and know a bit better how it works. So let me
yeah, of course.
share.
By all means, please.
Yeah, I will share my screen. So share uh, how it works. This one.
There it is.
So let me grab it now. Where is it? Because I have the Zoom some stuff here. I put it there. No, okay. So now, in theory, you see the first the first page. I don't
Correct.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah, when there is a written reveal what your customer really want.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the purpose here is not to sell Alia to anybody here. It's
Yeah.
just to spread the word about AI and how it works, to give you more, like something to take away, and sleep tonight with more knowledge. So yeah, so at Alia we try to reveal what your customer really want by analyzing the emotions. So let's take an example. Okay, now, yeah, there is as I said before, we are analyzing videos. So
Hmm.
we cut the videos in some bunch of consecutive images. So let's take this example of a guy, a bald guy with a blue shirt, which is absolutely not relevant in collecting his emotions, but uh, and there is like zero 0.3 seconds, like 4 frames on this topic. So
uh,
let's try as a human, if you can. That's what I will do with you, Miguel. If we look at the first two pictures and forget about the last two one,
hmm.
we can think these people, this guy is angry, is about to cry, like you make a big joke and the guy is almost crying and laughing, like like that,
Yeah.
Or if you look at the last two one, maybe you can think this guy is typically is sad, really sad or angry, like really annoying by why are we locked down or whatever. So
Hmm.
even as a human, even if this example is quite basic, we can think he's happy or maybe sad. Most of people think, when I show that people are, this guy is more sad or angry. What do you think, Miguel?
I think on the first one, yeah, I could say he's about to laugh, and on the second one, I would say more sad, definitely.
Yeah. So definitely, as it is a no consecutive sequence, we can feel that this guy is more sad.
Yeah.
So let's try to know how this artificial intelligence work. So as I say, we will use like complex calculus, like this is real formula, like leaky relu for the most mathematical expert in the in the room, and some kind like some kind of tricky word like linear regression, which is related to math, deep learning, AI, neural network, AI, hidden layer, and deep-wise convolutions. But
Mhm.
this is not the topic here. We will explain it in 5 slides. So basically, on the left, this is a single neuron. We feed in with input data, with data like with the image, raw image. He work, he do some calculus, like we said before, this kind of tricky stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then he get out with a results like which would be an emotions. But it's more complex than that. We use like we mixed neurons and create a new network of neurons like we do
Mhm.
with our own brain, and mix them like that. And this is a neural network of 6 neurons. For now, pretty easy, okay?
Yeah.
So let's put it a bit more complex, but still understandable for anybody in the assembly, if I do my job correctly. So there is several stage. We will move it from the left to the right. So this is our neural network, one of our neural networks, simplified.
Mhm.
We feed them on the left with an initial image, which is this one. You can see my mouse.
Yeah,
My
we are.
mouse.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
see it. We see it.
Okay. So then he just, as I said before, a machine is not able to analyze an image. So he split it in 3 array of numbers, like Excel spreadsheet, with green, blue, and face and red to identify the image.
Hmm.
Then there is a bunch of a layer, which is a hidden layer here. That is his job is to detect the face, so he kind of zoom in on the pictures.
Okay.
Then another layer, which is responsible for detecting the face data points,
Uh-huh.
which is related to a really scientific studies from Paul Ekman, which made some stuff like in 1978, which is pretty old. And he studied the movement of your face muscles and
Uh-huh.
classified that, a lot of them, and classify that on 7 basic emotions. He made a lot of studies on Chinese, on African, on U.S. citizen, on French, Spanish, and Mexican, wherever people are.
Hmm.
And he deduced, not only him, but a lot of scientific studies,
Okay.
that we, as a human being, wherever you go on the planet, even if you don't talk Chinese or Spanish, when you
Hmm.
meet someone, you will be able to detect and express the same way happiness, sadness, angriness, your surprise, your fear, your disgust, and contempt.
Hmm.
So these are the 7 basics emotions.
Yeah.
Some AI tech companies pretend to go with more than 7 emotions, like and excitement, willing to buy, or attention, or this kind of stuff, but there are no scientific proof behind that. So take
Yeah.
caution with people saying we can deduce anything. When you add more layer in complexity of emotions, I mean, you will be more, the AI will be more trained on people from rich countries like
Hmm.
US, Europe, etc., but will not work on other kind of countries.
Hmm.
So anyway, we were in the face data point. Then, like kids, we try to identify face parts
Yeah.
like the mouth, nose, etc. And then based on the Paul Ekman stuff and other model, we are able to deduce the percentage of each emotions you feel based on the way each part of your face is moving.
Hmm.
So here the final assumption is like this picture, this guy is happy at 65% and angry at 31%.
Well, these are the first ones, right? Or the first.
Yeah, the first one, but we will go more deeper. So Now you can explain what a neural network is and give an example, you know.
Yeah, I like to
So
say that it's super complex. I mean, we haven't touched the technical part really, but all of this is backed by a lot of calculus, if I'm not mistaken, right?
yeah, of course. Of course, each neuron is doing a lot of linear regression and mixing, as I said, not images and zoomed images, but like a bunch of array of data of numbers, only numbers. So it's really complex and really abstract stuff that is hard to explain if you don't have like 5 years of mathematical and statistics expertise, which are really boring, to be honest. uh, but yeah, so basically we are that, and what we do, what the AI do, again, it's like a simplification of what really AI is doing.
Hmm.
It's like we are first detecting the face, so zoom in,
Hmm.
then we are detecting the data points in the face part, and then we are identifying for each pictures for the videos
Hmm.
the percentage of the emotions. We make a classical average, which is not AI, you know, by, as you learn in your basic studies. And here we have the list, the top three of emotion felt for these four images.
Hmm.
So the AI can deduce that this guy is 63% sad.
Yeah.
So as you already deduce as a human, you do the same job as Elia because it was a simple example. But there is a other thing. We can do the same stuff with masks.
Uh,
So we can deduce
Whoa.
even if we have less data because your mouse and movement here are not visible. We can deduce that. And
Uh,
for example, this guy on the left, you can see that he's pretty happy because of the the, the, the way his eyes is positioned and the way, I don't know how it's called in Spanish, you know, or in English,
it's
this
wrinkles.
stuff,
Yeah.
yeah, when you are smiling are here. And by the way, this is how you detect a real smile and a fake smile. A fake smile is only made with the mouth, like, and the real one is like smiling and with here. And if like me you have, I don't know if you see that with my beard, but
Uh,
you have here this typical, you know, gap and all that mention that you are really smiling.
yeah.
Another trick is to, if your face is not symmetrically moving, you are faking an emotion,
Hmm.
except for disgust and contempt, which is the only of the seven emotion that is asymmetrical, like this one,
Hmm.
like, and this guy
Uh,
is saying bullshit, you know, or like I don't like. You are asymmetrical, you know, but all the other expressions, sadness, surprise, anger, etc., are always symmetrical.
hmm.
So yeah, we can detect on faces, and ears is more tricky. And if you want a last tricky one, and it will be done for this demo, it's like try here to
Wow.
detect the people that are angry or sad.
Mm.
You cannot. As a human, you cannot.
No,
But using
actually
this,
no.
using the same algorithm, we can. We detect the faces that we can. That, for example, here the people here we cannot. But
Hmm.
on the people we can detect, we can use the same AI and detect that these three guys are way more negative, like sad and angry, than the other people.
Hmm.
And for security purpose, for example, in a bank, if you have a camera that is recording people, and behind off scene you have someone with a gun pointing at the people, you will be able to see not the guy with the gun, but the fear level growing up drastically and alerts the people that are looking at this camera, for example.
Wow.
So yeah, basically this is how an AI using computer science, complicated calculus and models is built to detect your emotion only from your face,
Uh-huh.
which is only a piece of the problem because I mean, if for example I'm making this, I know I will stop my share screen to let you see.
Yeah,
My
there it is.
face. Okay. If I smile, like, and only analyzing my face, you could think that I am happy. But if I'm doing like that, like sometimes we do with kids, when they are trying to do something they are not allowed to, we can do that.
Mhm.
I am smiling, but with these movements, I am saying that, guys, you better not do that. I mean,
Uh-huh.
or I don't know if I am smiling and making. You have a lot of girls doing that because men are have not long hairs. If you are smiling and doing like that, or with the pen doing like that, these are typical gesture pattern of
Mhm.
a people that is boring.
Yeah.
So if on a sales pitch, or when you are talking to people in a Zoom call or in a one-to-one, you have someone that is doing like that, this is an indicator for you that you are a bit boring. Or if she or he was not doing that and is doing that during the call, it's better indicator. But there is a lot of stuff like if I am closer to the screen, if I am moving, like facing you or not, or mimicking like you are doing right now, like mimicking the yes, like
Mhm.
okay, I trust this guy that is talking, and this is typically like a good sign for me.
Uh-huh.
And we are at Alia, at least we are backed up by Anbil, which is for me one of the best scientists in the world regarding the non-verbal communication expertise.
Mhm.
And she has a company which is called Bill RT, which is working with like the Fortune 500 in US
Wow.
on marketing researches, and she's backing up scientifically and helping us on how we develop our products. And she has created in 2012, I guess, so it's pretty new,
Yeah.
a model which is not related to AI, but for us, it's like our Bible, which is called Perceive.
Uh,
And every letter of the Perceive is like uh, an indicator of your nonverbal communication.
mhm.
Without doing it all, for example, the first one is proximity, the P of Perceive, which
Yeah.
is, am I standing far from the webcam or close to the webcam listening to you? or or not necessarily close or far, but if I was far and now I am closer, you have my attention. If I am close and now I'm like that, I am quitting you, And then you have expression, which is the first E, which is basically the facial expression
Uh-huh.
I mentioned. The relative orientation, when you are physically in a group of people, especially in relationship with men and women,
Uh,
or men and men, but let's say uh, a sexual relationship stuff, and you are trying to 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 have a relationship, not necessarily sexual, but something.
mhm.
If the person is facing you with his trunk, or look at the feet of the people, it's like crazy how it works. When you are on a meeting room, you look at the feet of the people. If the feet are pointing to your direction, or if you are between the triangle, inside the triangle, the person is listening more to you than the other persons.
Mm.
So there is a lot of indicators. And then,
Yeah, so basically you take, well, there's the AI part that it says, hey, you've got 66 or whatever percent, and then you've got the experts also interpreting this data, right? Which
yeah,
you said you've got this expert on your team who is helping you with the analysis and putting into context everything.
yeah, exactly. She's helping us building the models, because just finish session where in the AI, I talk about labeled input data, like the
Uh-huh.
neuron, you feed them with input data. How does this neural network know what is an happy face?
Mm.
So basically, I give him like my like thousands of images
Mm-hmm.
of people, white people, black people, Chinese people, images in black and white,
Mm-hmm.
no matter the ethnicity of the people, images with people with glasses, with a hat, with a mask, kids, old person, girls, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I classify that as a human, like, okay, here machine, you have 10,000 of happy face.
Mm-hmm.
People with like that, uh, like that, every kind of way people are smiling.
Uh-huh.
So I feed him with like a knowledge to recognize how it's a happy face, sad face, etc.
Of course.
And from that, the machine is able to recognize one of these thousand of images, which is
Mm-hmm.
pretty simple, but also new images you never see before.
Mm-hmm.
That, and you will be able to say, okay, I think it's 60% of chance this is an happy face, and 20% of chance which is that is neutral face, etc. That's the way we feed neural network.
Yeah, so you've got these two parts. So you've got the stuff you input, and you've got all
Yeah,
of the calculus behind it. And
yeah,
now, once you provide all of these insights to your clients, what do they do with it, with all of this knowledge?
yeah. So uh, here, so basically, our AI at Elia is trying to deduce your emotions,
Mm-hmm.
which led me to a famous KPI, not famous, but our main KPI, KPI, key product indicators. We're really
uh,
famous in management and business stuff, KPI. So metrics, let's say,
yeah, basically.
which we called emotional KPI, emotional impact.
Okay.
How emotionally are you impactful or not? How much of emotional impact are you making in a talk, during a talk, for politicians, for a sales speech, for even like this one, for example?
Mm-hmm.
Am I touching you emotionally or not? And you and the people around the table, if they were sharing their webcam, for example, if we were using Alia, we
Uh,
will be able to know if among the hundred of thousands of people,
mm-hmm.
what is the percentage of happiness or positive emotion. So to answer your question, we are using emotional impact, and let's give you an example. For example, in teaching,
Mm-hmm.
in currently, for example, in Spain, but also in France and basically all over the world, they are using three kind of teaching to the students.
Mm-hmm.
The classical one, which is physical one, you go to the university, you sit in a chairs and you listen to the professor. Due to COVID-19 stuff, there is only half of the class which is allowed to attend to the class.
Mm-hmm.
The other half of, so this is the physical class. There is the home office class, which is you are in your home, you not even necessarily wear pants or socks or whatever. You're in your home, and
Uh-huh.
listen, like if you are viewing a Netflix series or a YouTube video, and you are looking at the professors. And the third one, which is called mirror class, you need to go to the university, so dress yourself, go to the university. You are sat in a room with a screen, 20 persons, like your colleague, and you listen to the professors. And some universities are trying to know if the emotional impact is the same if you are physically in front of the person physically,
Uh-huh.
if you are digitally in front of the person in your home or in the place you are supposed to learn, like
Uh-huh.
the mirror way. And we are helping some universities currently to know if there is, if it's the same,
Mm-hmm.
or if it's harder to convince people to learn and to remember some stuff. And
Wow.
then we are able to make some kind of EKG, like the electrocardiogram
Uh-huh.
you have for your heartbeat. It's the same, but we call that the hemogram for your emotions. And during all the course or the teaching or the pitch or whatever, we
Mm-hmm.
can make this kind of charts, and you can try it on our website. It's free. You go to alia.ai and you have an online demo. You share your webcam, and you view a couple of videos, and you give you back some charts, and you know what we can do with this emotional impact.
Wow.
So, and yeah, and to finish this answer, which is quite long, sorry,
Yeah.
don't
No. No.
hesitate to
No.
interrupt me if I am too long, okay? And so, yeah, so to finish with that, there is a lot of studies, especially in neuromarketing area, which shows that the more positive and emotionally you are impacted by a brand or by an ad or a product, the more
Mhm.
loyal you will be, the more you are willing to share or re-like or comment positively these ads, and the more you are willing to buy product from this brand. Which is why Apple products are so famous, because people loved the brand. They love the brand. You,
Mhm.
you, I don't know any single person that loved their computer, even if they are good, also good. You know,
Yeah.
you don't love Asus computer. You don't love Xiaomi smartphone, but you do love iPhone. You do love your Mac or whatever, because
Yeah.
they made a lot of ads that impact you emotionally.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Definitely.
that's it for the KPI and how to use it.
It's super interesting. So basically, to like sum up, it's pretty complex, as you said, and it's a extensive answer. But basically, you give communication and marketing and business insights based on emotional impact, which has been proven to have to help your brand and people to engage. Is the key to all of this.
Yeah, I lost the connection a bit, but the word I catch, it seems to be a good sum up.
Yeah, and right now, well, we've got most of our people are from psychology. We've got entrepreneurs. So I would like to ask one final question before be it in Spanish or English. Uh, but what could you advise people who want to integrate AI into their business or into their professional practice?
Yeah. So yeah, my connection is getting poor, but I get your question. Let me share with you a graph, if I can, quickly. I will not show you all the presentation, but just the which is this one. Share. In theory, you see a chart.
Let me see. Yeah, yeah, we see it.
Yeah. Okay. So just to sum up your question, if I catch it well, because I was missing some words,
Yeah,
you asked me what kind of advice I can give to students or entrepreneur or psychology expert that want to dig into AI or play with existing AI.
exactly that.
Um, yeah. So as you can see in this, I will answer this question. Right? Yeah, but as you can see, these charts, we saw that. You can hear me well.
Yeah.
Okay. So I show that this kind of chart to my business founders and investors, and
Mhm.
to show them that there is a huge opportunity. As I said to you before, I don't know if it was recorded or not, but for me, we are in a stage where it's like before the electricity and era and after the electricity era, and people
Mhm.
massively don't realize that. And if you look at the last century, like remember, it was in only like 50 years ago the computer was able to beat the better chess player in the world, and
Yeah.
only a couple 4 years ago he was able to beat an alpha a go player, which is the go ban um, game, which was impossible for computer to resonate and to think about. So I
Mhm.
think we are right in the time in a huge opportunity to use AI. If you are on the early stage, early adopters, based on that, you will be skyrocketing in 10 years for sure, because you will build your own experience based on that. So yeah, for me, it's really the good timing, to build Alia or other AI stuff based on computer vision or financial analysis, psychology analysis, on any kind of stuff. In healthcare, for example, I am in contact with one of the, for me, it's like the biggest scientific studies in the world, which is trying to know why people are happy. And and it's like 75 years of studies. There is
Yeah.
already 3 director of studies on this, because the 2 first one are dead because too old, and the next one is from US, and it's good studies. So yeah, and using AI on that, we will try to play with him maybe next year or the year after to analyze stuff using AI and psychology experts. So yeah, it's for me it's the good time. And just to finish the loop, as
Uh-huh.
as I said at the beginning, for me it's like always about why doing this stuff, why using AI. Okay, it's crazy, it's useful, it's like electricity, but why using it? And
Mhm.
it's and also why not using only that? And
Uh-huh.
for me, there is no terminators, and AI could be a good a key player with the human expertise. And I take the example of Alia, but you can put yourself on the center of this charts if you want. You put your expertise, and for example, you told me like psychologist, but let's say you are expert in nonverbal communications
Mhm.
or expert in neuroscience, but you don't know nothing about AI. If you are only an AI nerd, you don't know how it works regarding what I say about emotions, gesture patterns, voice, etc. So you
Mhm.
need to play with this kind of knowledge, and
Yeah.
using 2 or more mixed knowledge, you can build something really, really relevant for the purpose of your usage. So find about where is your domain of expertise,
Mhm.
where are the missing points, partner with the relevant persons, and
Mhm.
use AI to be one of these persons to be applied to your context for your clients or for your studies or for the the job you want to build later. And
Mhm.
so yeah, I mean, like the millennials and even the older person like me or you, even if you are not so old,
Yeah.
now you can decide what kind of job you want to do, and what kind of impact you want to add. You don't have to save the world uh, or make the world a better place and blah blah blah. I mean, we yeah, it's good. I would like to work in AI and apply that to for ecological reasons and decrease the number of pollution, etc. And maybe later I would do that, but we cannot all of us find a way to help on this purpose. So if you have something you are passionate about, go for it, and you try to use AI on that. I don't know if it's a good advice or not, but this is mine.
Yeah, but it's really, really priceless what you share because effectively, as you said, we are in the perfect time and it can basically be applied to whatever you want. So what you're saying is find your passion or what you want to do and include AI into it. And this implies, I imagine, knowing a lot about calculus and computer programming and whatnot, right?
Yeah, but even if you are okay, yeah, it's great what Luke just said, but I'm a Nazi in math. I don't like that, or I'm not so expert in that topic. I don't know nothing about technology and computer. I need 10 years to learn that. It's too late for me. No, you don't. You can hire or work or partner with some mathematical experts and IT experts and build a team and do something together. Like
Mhm.
for psychologists in hospitals, you work with experts in I don't know, in surgery, a psychology guy or girl, a social assistant expert, and the three of them, the technical bones expertise, would be able to listen to the psychologist and social assistant experts and find the relevant surgery or solution for this person,
Mhm.
not only based on the bones and the problem he has. Because if he has I don't know, financial problem or psychology problem, he need absolutely to do sports every day. You cannot propose to him surgery like that will paralyze him for 3 months, die
Mhm.
in his head, you know. So, so this mix of knowledge is really important. That's it.
Yeah, and that's something that actually all of the research I've read that is really recent, even in this year, says, yeah, we need to be more interdisciplinary. We need to have a lot of professions to actually make AI work the best way, basically.
Exactly, and that's why I think we need some community like yours at Bios Brain and others to evangelize these topics about AI, neuroscience, psychology, and let people talk together. I mean, it's not because I am a kind of expert in AI or math that I know everything in nonverbal communication.
Hmm.
Yeah, I learn about it, I study it, I study AP psychology, etc. But I met this Anvil and I partner with her as an advisor, and
Hmm.
she is the real expert, like a PhD in Yale, you know, in nonverbal.
Wow.
So she is the expert, one of this of the top 10 experts in the world. So matching talents and energy, then you need consistency, and you find why you want to work. Again, look at the Simon Sinek videos, and you will rocks. I mean,
You just brought this interview full circle. You said you started out with, so that's awesome.
perfect.
Wow, it's been great, Luke. I would like to. I know we've got right now a few participants, but I would like to ask specifically Alonso, who I know is an entrepreneur who is really
Yeah,
into AI. He wants to have his own development regarding AI. So I would like to ask Alonso personally if you would like to ask something to Luke. Right now is the time. You can open your microphone or your camera if you'd like, or you can even write it in Spanish, whichever you feel more comfortable. There we have it. Hi, Alonso.
Hi, Miguel. How are you?
Doing great. Nice to meet you. Nice to talk to you. Sorry.
Thank you, Mike. Hi, Luke. How are you?
hi, fine, fine.
Excellent. I was just wondering about how do you use the AI with the psychological problems that in this moment we have, for example, like schizophrenia, whatever, these kind of diseases that they are very common here well in this moment around the world, and even with a lot of problems in Europe and America. So how can you believe that you can proceed, or you can how can I say the perfect word, evaluate the diseases of the brain for the next generations? How do you think that you can do something with the AI?
Yeah, good question. So just before answering your question regarding schizophrenia or more psychological disease, did you know that for I don't remember the exact numbers, so it for sure it will be wrong numbers, but you will add the topics and you can find it on Google without any problem. But there is um, I can remember like it was 10 sorts of cancers cells
Mhm.
that could be detected based on X-ray, you know, images, and among the 10 of them, 3 of them was found was discovered by an AI. They send all the dozens and dozens and thousands of images of X-ray of people with cancer disease, and saying, okay, this expert, here there is a disease, here there is not, here it's a clean, etc. And then to try to make a challenge between humans, experts in cancer disease, and AI to see if they will be able to not replace but work together. And on 3 new cases, the AI say this guy has a cancer, and the experts say,
Ah, okay,
no,
okay.
there is nothing. They make some studies, etc. And they discover 3 new stuff, you know. So
Wow.
it works for that. So imagery work also for psychology disease. And based on my really small knowledge on that, I mean, I think we are at the beginning of a revolution regarding the study of brain and neuroscience applied to psychology, and there is neuroscience applied to behavioral and behavioral economics, for example, really fascinating topics also.
Okay.
And we are talking about science like 20 years or maybe 10 years that they are quite relevant. So yeah, for sure, you can feed an AI with this early stage science and work with humans for schizophrenia, for example. And if I give you a like as a brainstorming stuff right now, a kind of
Mm-hmm.
idea how we can use Haalia or another topic. You build it from scratch. There is it's a gift. You if you
Mm-hmm.
all the people that are working from home remotely, if you are not used to do that, as I am, because I am working remotely for like 10 years now, most of my time. So I know what it is. There's good part and really a lot of bad part. Like it's hard to socialize with people, etc. So you can develop some kind of disease like schizophrenia, depression, etc. And which is your topics, Alonso, I guess. And if you can have an app that is recording you and you accept that, remember me, Miguel, to talk about ethic and
Mhm.
GDPR,
Ah,
which is
yes.
a missing topic that is really, really important for me. And I will take maybe 3 minutes to talk about that. But first, I answer to Alonso. So if you have this kind of app recording you and or giving you the input or giving to your boss or your manager or the HR department or your medics or whatever, or your psychology expert, whatever, give you
Mm-hmm.
input and say, okay, this guy seems to be less happy than before. They will not say to you like, oh, this guy is not smiling all the day. He is in depression. No, because there is some people that are really
They don't
strongly expressive,
express.
you know,
Right.
and others that are like, if you have someone like shy that is almost never smile during a meeting, if or show his emotion, if during a meeting this guy is doing like that or like that,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
tiny smile for him is like if you have an expressive guy like laughing like that, you know. So it's not the way he's smiling or expressing himself, but the way he's changing his own emotion on long timeline. And this
Okay.
change can be detected by an AI using computer vision and all the stuff. You can use voice tone, you can use a background noise, if he's listening to music or not, whatever, and make that alert the human expert on the field that will be able to take the relay and talk to the guy. So, for example, if you are a psychologist, you have, I don't know, 1,000 of clients. You cannot monitor every single week and call them one by one, at least once a week to say, "Are you okay? Do you need help? Do you need more pills?" Or I don't know. And
Mm-hmm.
but if you have this kind of app that you can build, maybe based on your 1,000 of clients, you will have like 50 of them that is potentially decreasing his mental states,
Huh.
and you will be able to focus on them and help them. You know,
Okay. Okay.
is it
Okay. Look,
answering your question?
yeah, that is right. Because in this moment we are already searching about we are using different kinds of methods of AI like cognitive learning and brain learning, and we are searching about the behavior of the people and different kind of diseases that in since the beginning of the studying of this kind of diseases from many years ago, and we are creating a really big base of big data. So with some studies of different kind of psychologists and psychiatrists and even some sociologists, we are analyzing a little by little all the behavior about the different kind of patients that has this problem. No, so we believe that in the future maybe we can help a lot of people. And as you say, there are different kind of persons that they react uh, with different behavior. For example, you said maybe there is a person that is laughing all the time, but inside he's really bad. He's
Exactly.
really depressive, or he has a lot of problems with with some different chemical problems in the brain. So this is very interesting. Even in the future, I would like to more with you and with Mike, Miguel, and maybe try to do something together, because we need a team here in Mexico. Almost all the PhDs that normally they work on the area of AI, they are busy because there are a lot of companies here in Mexico, that from Russia, from US and India, that they established here in Mexico, and they are mm, they are how can I say that? I'm thinking in Spanish. Sorry. They are contracting. I can say that, or they are. They, well, all the experts that we have in Mexico, they get them, no. So for their company, so there are a lot of, well, a little bit of freelancers that they can work with us, but the idea is to increase the team and make a better enterprise with, well, with expertise, no.
Yeah. Feel free to get in touch, send me an email, and yeah, we're happy to talk.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah. Uh,
Wow, great.
Miguel, do you want me to talk really like 1 minute regarding ethics and GDPR, because it's
If you could, yeah, we're a little bit over the hour. It's 5:07 for you. If you're willing, yeah, we'd love to hear up.
yeah, I have time,
Up.
but I don't want to to make like a 2 hour stuff. But if you wanted to split it, but yeah, for me it's like something really important when we talk about AI. Alia, more in computer vision for like Alia, but even outside of this scope, like Facebook is doing on all of us without our really clear consent, is like, for me it's important this kind of technology like AI are matching strong ethical values from the person that are creating it,
Hmm.
because if not, we are manipulating people. Because if I know that you are sad or depressed and I want to sell you something, I can use some, or if you are, I see some fear when I talk about certain topics, and
Hmm.
if I am your boss, for example, I can manipulate you and put you in pressure without you using some weapon you don't have, because you don't use Alia or some other stuff to analyze me,
Hmm.
which is not fair at all. So another stuff is, for me, Alia will never be used in public places, never ever.
Okay.
Why? Because some people will say, I don't want, it's like, if a computer or then some companies can use my emotions, it's like if they saw me naked. It's like, like not raping me, but psychologically it's like a kind of rape. Okay, it's a strong word, but I believe that. So
Hmm.
for me, Alia, for example, is only used with your specific consent. Even on our demo page, you need to click on the privacy policy stuff. The privacy policy stands on 2 pages, not like big lawyer stuff, complicated to read, like Facebook, Google, and Apple and anybody else.
Hmm.
Something clear. You know what we do with your data, where we store it, if we share it or not, etc. And then after that, you have another button to click to, okay, do you let me see your webcam?
Hmm.
And you can click no. It's not like the cookie, like, do you accept the cookie? You have yes and setting,
Yeah.
and try to go to setting and say no. It's bothering. So it has to be clear and mapped with an ethical values from the company, from the technology, and clearly understood by the citizens. And
Hmm.
I hope, like a lot of people and countries and and communities will fight against the evil part of AI, because like the nuclear energy, at the beginning was like a good stuff, but
Yeah.
it can be used also as a weapon, so to kill people. So I think it's the same for AI. So we as a human being, we have to be really cautious, take care of that, and be really aggressive, not aggressive, but really reactive
Hmm.
when we have some stuff regarding AI, because it's start with Facebook analyzing your profile,
Hmm.
which is already the stuff, and eating a bit of your privacy policy. But yeah, I mean, take care of all the AI stuff and be sure you are not used and you are okay to be used. I mean, so yeah, really really important.
It's a yeah, and it's a super complex problem, and I think we could talk a lot more about AI in general, but also about the ethics. And I would like to round up with a quote you said that I thought was fabulous. AI is a weapon, and as Luke Skywalker, as Luc Bonnin, it's a weapon. It's a lightsaber that can be used for good or for evil. For those
Yeah.
who know Star Wars, yeah. So it's been a real treat, Luke. Really talking to you, knowing about how you started off your career, being curious about everything, how you got into AI, how it's the new electricity, how we're just starting everything, and how you with Haalia work with experts. It's a multidisciplinary team where you have and analyze emotional impact, and that's what you bring to the table, so to speak. But everyone can do it. We even talked about how to do it with psychiatric diseases and diagnosis. So it's promising to say the least, I think.
Yeah, of course. And to quote another last sample that we are, because you told to me that you are in Latam, like more in
Yeah.
Latin America, and we are working with a neuromarketing area, a neuromarketing agency, which is called Fusion Lab,
Mm-hmm.
and that are expert in neuromarketing studies for clients, brand, etc., and are really really using it in Latin America, in Panama and Colombia, Brazil, Mexico, and we are working with them to partner our expertise and be way more powerful for the end user, because the point is not to sell more, is to sell in a better way. I don't want, at least with Fusion Lab, when we work together, we talk about ethics and these topics. And I say, if you want just to sell technology and studies to sell more, I don't want to work with you. And he say, and he was like shocked a bit, like surprised. I mean,
Uh-huh.
you are you are not selling yourself. You are doing the reverse, But it was so important, and we share this ethics. And all, for example, we are working with cinemas industries and Netflix stuff and
Mm-hmm.
this kind of stuff.
Wow.
And the point is not to sell more movies, is to build and to sell more entertaining movies that will touch people deeper.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that same for the product, from whatever services you can use neuromarketing or